saving up for his wedding now. And I ask him, how does that look financially? Are you guys saving up? Is it a challenge? Is it expensive? So just kind of trying to find needs. So during this prospecting session, ultimately what we want to do is find the need of a person. The situation we've created here, obviously I'm trying to simulate me having lunch with a friend, and you'll see that the questions come up really quick, and it's not the way it's going to flow all the way through, because we're kind of trying to make this a condensed version of what dinner would look like or lunch would look like. So normally we'd be talking a lot of side conversation, we'd be talking about, the sporting event that we saw on television or something, just personal things, but for sake of the training, we're going to make it very short.
So how's the hockey season doing this year?
It's looking pretty good, man. I think the Kings they have a chance to win it all. Seriously.
It's so good if they finally...
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hair salads.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Do you need anything else?
No, I think we're good for now.
All right. I'll be back to check on you in a minute, okay?
Thanks.
Okay, cool. So talk to me, Brian. What's new?
Everything's going great. It's been nice. How are things with you?
Things are going good, man. Thanks. How's the family?
Oh, family's good. Oh, by the way, Haley and I just got engaged.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, when's the big day?
It's about 6 months out, so we're in a lot of planning right
And
now.
everything. She working more on the planning side, and
She's working on the planning side, getting the wedding taken care of, and I'm getting the housing details taken care of.
I can only imagine, man. Weddings they seem pretty expensive nowadays. Everything's like pricey, yeah.
I'm telling you, it's a bit of juggling with the finances, but we'll get it taken care of.
Cool. That's awesome, man. Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
Were you still working at the IT company?
Yeah, I'm still there. It pays the bills.
Oh, that's cool.
What are you doing these days?
For work, just work same job, working at the plumbing electrical company. Obviously, it's not what I want to be doing long term, but like you said, it pays the bills.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find additional ways to make income, and I don't know. Have you ever considered making extra income aside from your job?
Well, I've thought about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at a few projects. I have one project that looks pretty good, and I would say very soon, hopefully, if it goes well, I'll be able to take less hours at work and maybe walk away from my job.
That's fantastic. What's the side project?
Well, I want to show you how everything works, man, and get your feedback on everything. But take a look at your schedule tonight, and I'll take a look at my schedule, and let's set up a time sometime this week. So I'll call you up tonight, and we'll set up that time.
Sounds
Cool.
good. Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how's
How's
it going?
everything going over here?
Good.
I
Good.
see you haven't really eaten.
No, not yet. We were just catching up. I haven't seen Brian in a while, and he's engaged now. His life's moving forward, and we're talking a little bit of business. Yeah, we haven't really gotten to our food, but how long have you been working here?
Oh, like a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. You're just working or going to school as well?
Well, I'm working here, going to school, just up the street. Yeah, student.
Cool. What are you majoring in?
Marketing.
Oh, awesome. That's good.
We'll
Well,
see,
you have
yeah.
the right personality for it, man. You know what?
Thank
Once
you.
once we get this little project going and we have our first event, maybe you can come out and give us your feedback on it from a marketing perspective.
Like a business project?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Cool. Let me get
Sure,
your
yeah.
get your
I'd
contact
love to.
details, and then we'll hit you up when that time comes.
Yeah.
Cool.
For sure.
Another key point to keep in mind is don't feel compelled to explain everything about your business at that moment. I mean, think about it. We're just having lunch. This is a casual thing. There's no need for me to pull out a PowerPoint presentation or a newspaper right there on the spot. If you'll notice during the conversation when he asks me, well, can you tell me more about your project? I tell him, you know what, I really want to show you what my project's all about, but take a look at your schedule this week, find out which days you have available, and I'll take a look at mine, and then we'll make that appointment happen. So that's the way I kind of take the focus off of me explaining it at that moment, and more so setting like, hey, we're just here to meet, we're just here to have lunch and be friendly. This is social, this is not business. Let's set up a time for business. Because I know that when I call him and I set the time, that when we meet, it's all business at that point.
Hello, everybody. Nick Taylor here. Usually in Wellington, but this day I am in beautiful sunny Whangarei. It's about 30 degrees today. It's been perfect. Hi, Dr. Nick. So I'm assuming you guys can hear me okay? Yes, I'm recording this, of course. Everybody hear me fine before I move on? Perfect. Awesome. Like you guys saw just there, that was such a powerful and short video by Michael Callejas, one of the real leaders in USANA over in the States. He's one of my favorite USANA leaders. He's a guy I've really looked up to from the start. He's such a genuine guy. He's an incredible business builder and very, very ethical in his approach. So that was just one sort of overview of this inviting, which is what we're going to cover a little bit more on tonight. And inviting, like you can see here on the 10-week checklist, if you have done that, which you should have done, is the number 2 skill. Not number 2 in importance, it's probably one of the most important, But the second skill to master is inviting. I'll just read out that little paragraph. It says, inviting is simple yet important to master. It's so important to master. The more effective you are at inviting, the better success you will have. And I believe not just in your USANA business, but in your life in general. The aim is to be genuine, offering the USANA opportunity in a way that your friends or family or the person you're talking to can see how they could benefit. You know, I really used to make the mistake of talking about USANA and what I was excited about. I was always excited about the New York Stock Exchange, and USANA is a publicly traded company, and we're at $1 billion market capacity, and we're an FDA-registered drug facility to make pharmaceutical-grade GMP products from our Salt Lake base, and blah, blah, blah. And so many people weren't interested in that. So you want to relate it back to them and how they could benefit, and talk about what excites them. Michael Callejas in that short little video talked about FORM, which is FORM. And that's sort of those leading questions to find out more about people before you make the invite, to take a closer look at what we have to offer. And that's family for the F, occupation for O, recreation, so what they like to do for fun, any hobbies that they have. And then M is message, the message you want to portray. So below is a guide to use when inviting over the phone or in person. I think the most important thing to understand when you're going through this is that it says to be genuine. This isn't a script of, what to read word for word. This is to give you an idea of the types of things to say while you're going through an invite. Before you get started, you want to choose people you want to call first off your names list. Every single person should have a names list. I heard it said by Darren Hardy, the owner and founder of Success Magazine, which is an epic magazine, basically trying to bring positive vibes into the world. It's all about success stories, people overcoming boundaries and making something of themselves. It's really awesome if you guys want to check it out. And he said that your names list is proportionate to the wealth that you can create. With a small names list, you might break, 6 figures income eventually. With a huge names list, that's when you're going to create those massive income goals that, many of us do have. So write down before you call them up why you want to call them. How they could benefit from this, what kind of person they are, what you think they like to do. If I'm calling up someone who's a pilot, they love flying, but they're not really happy in their job. They love animals, they'd love to work with animals, but they're away all the time, flying, but not flying in the way that they want to. They're unhappy with they don't have the ability to take holidays and travel. That's what I'm going to write down so I get to understand why I'm trying to invite them. Over the weekend, we had the USANA celebration in Auckland, and for those of you who weren't there, it was my favorite celebration so far. It's the third or fourth one I've been to, and this one by far peaked. The same story as with all the other celebrations, international convention, every single event. Most often, it's not what you learn in the actual, the formal part of it. That's incredible. That you learn so much there, but it's quite often what you learn after and behind the scenes, and bumping shoulders with some of the top leaders and learning off them. And in this instance, it was Nikki Keohau, who is such an incredible woman. She's one of the top women business coaches in the entire world. She's from Hawaii in the USA, and she was over here to share her knowledge with us. And probably one of the big take-home points I took from Nikki was that when you're offering somebody the opportunity to look at USANA, you're either thinking, and we do it naturally, and we try not to, but we still do it to some extent. We're either thinking, this person could be interested, or this person is probably not going to be interested. And 99.99% of the time, we're going to approach the people who we think are going to be interested. And I really related to that because I've definitely done that in the past. Still sometimes now I will do that. And she said that if you are deciding something for them, it's not their choice. And this is something that 100% should be their choice. If they don't want to do it, that should be their choice. Or if they want to do it, that should be their choice as well. For me, if someone thought, Nick, he's the guy who drinks 24 beers a week. He doesn't care about his health at all. He's into his next adrenaline fix. All he wants to do is fly. Health is just not for him. Business, he definitely doesn't have any money. He's always broke. He's always, scabbing drinks off other people. If somebody had thought that about me, there is absolutely no way I'd be sitting here right now in love with my life. So it's so important that you understand that it's the person's, you should give them the dignity to at least choose for themselves. And that's why we invite people. Honestly, now, a few years on, I have the complete firm belief that every single person in USANA could benefit from this. It's just for them to see it for themselves. So don't hold back on thinking and prejudging people. Invite every single person you can eventually, because give them the dignity of choice. So inviting, what to say on your call. And we've got 5 awesome, easy steps here. The first time I ever made an approach call, I always say that me and V always do the things wrong, so you guys don't have to. My first ever approach call was 45 minutes long, and I basically did a presentation on the phone. And needless to say, I confused the heck out of the guy. He didn't sign up. He did eventually, but it was definitely not from that call. So what we've done is created just an awesome little format for you guys to follow to make it really, really simple. I guarantee this is going to be very, very scary the first couple of times you try it. But one thing that I keep hearing over and over and over and over again from anybody who's successful, if it's in USANA or not, is that fear is your barometer to tell you where you should go. If you're feeling scared about approaching, you should approach. If you're feeling scared about inviting, you should invite. If you're scared about even meeting people, you should go and meet people, because fear should be that barometer telling you where you need to go to see success in your life. Obviously not silly things like I'm scared of jumping off a cliff onto some rocks. That's stupid. Nobody with a brain is going to do that. So, we're talking realism here, okay? So it says, first and foremost, very, very important, clear the time. You want to make sure that people are free, especially if you're on the phone. If you're chatting with them, where I use Facebook chat to build a lot of rapport before taking off chat and hopping on the phone and doing the invite. I love, you don't really need to ask if they're available when you're chatting with them on Facebook, because they're talking to you, so they're probably doing nothing or at work, doing something they don't enjoy. So make sure you clear the time when you jump on the phone. Something as simple as, hey man, I'm so glad I got you. Is it okay to talk for a couple of minutes? And if they say no, don't just kind of skip to the next step and go, cool man, wow, if they say no, obviously say, when's a good time to call, and call back then. If they say yes, then they're giving you permission to proceed with the call. Then you move on to step number 1. Let them know why you thought of them. Not, oh my God, I'm so excited, I just started this new business, New York Stock Exchange, pharmaceutical grade products, you should have a look. Just be like, hey man, I really, really wanted to get in touch with you. I know you love flying, and I know you're just not happy with what you're doing in terms of your career at the moment. If there's a way, blah, 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 blah. So let them know why you thought of them. And it says here, compliment them. I think, just relating back to that first little paragraph there, where it says to be genuine, you want to give a genuine compliment. Because if it's not, then you're lying to yourself, and you're building an unethical business, and that's just not good. You don't want to say, you're so inspirational and you're just the nicest person in the world, if they're neither. They've probably got some other qualities which you could highlight. If they don't have any qualities which you like, why do you want to work with them in the first place? Why are you even calling them up? So, number 2, make the invite. Nice and easy. Be straight to the point. Especially with business, people respect that. When you're not kind of trying to, diddle-daddle around this, the big scary invite, come and take a look. If it's a no, it's a no, whatever. Going back to the waitress analogy, if she's coming around the restaurant and she's like, do you guys want any dessert? Hey, how was your meal? Do you want any dessert? And you're like, oh, we're a bit full. We'll pass on dessert tonight. She's not going to run out the bag and go, I don't want any dessert. I'm so bad at my job. It's literally just because at that moment, at that time in our lives, I ate 400 grams of fish and 7 side dishes and probably 8 garlic breads, and I'm done. I'm done. I don't want the dessert. Next time I go back up, I might, and she'll probably come back and ask me if I want dessert, and I'll say yes. So similar to the invite process. It's not scary, and at least you're finding out if it is a no. So make that invite. Just say, look, I have this thing which I honestly believe you'd rock at. It could be a way for you potentially to, get out of that flying job and start, focusing on the things you really love to do. Now, it may or may not be for you. I love that line. Number 3, release the pressure. It may or may not be for you. That completely takes the pressure away from them. I always say that. It's so important in an invite because it may or may not be for them. It just might not be the right timing in their life. And if it is a no, it's not a no forever. It's probably just a no for now. That's absolutely okay. So release that pressure. It could be, it may or may not be for you. One that I used to like using as well, and I still do to some extent, is with people that you know really well and have a bit more of a relationship with, is it's probably not for you. Because then they kind of tip their little ears up and they're like, what do you mean it's not for me? Let me look. What do you mean? It's quite cool if you've got a really good relationship with someone and you can move in. It's probably not for you, but I really respect your opinion. Would you be able to let me know what you think about it? And honestly, 99% of the time they're going to say yes, just because you said that it's probably not for them. So that's quite good if you have a good relationship with someone. But for most cases, it may or may not be for you. It says here, if I would you. Eric Worre always talks about if I would you questions, because if you say if I, let's say if I was to send you through a link, we've got a presentation at 7:30 or 8 o'clock tonight, would you? Because if you say if I, you're doing something for them. And it's not through some sort of like sneaky coercion, it's just a simple conversation method. They are probably going to be more likely to help you out. So if I was to send you through a link, there's an awesome overview at 8 o'clock. It's only going to be about half an hour. I know you said you were going to be free tonight. Would you jump on and let me know your thoughts? That's a really awesome way to tackle it. If I would you, and offer to make that time to show them within 24 to 48 hours. So don't say, if I'd send you, a link in a couple of weeks' time, do you reckon you'd be able to watch it, by June? Probably don't do that. Not the best bet. And then number 5, book and confirm the appointment and follow up. Follow up is a completely different skill, so I'm not really going to go into it here. We cover it a lot in our trainings, but following up is the most important skill to do after this inviting and presentation. If you're not following up, you're wasting your time with everything else, honestly. And that seems to be a lot of people's weak points. It sure has been for me in the past. Following up was quite often a weak point. And I know it is for a lot of other people. But if you're not following up with due diligence correctly in the right format, you're completely wasting your time, really. So within that 24 to 48 hour mark is really, really important as well. That's that time where they're still going to be fresh in the mind about the compliment that you gave them, why you were calling them, what it's even about, and they're going to be more likely to want to have a look because you've related, obviously, what we have to what they're looking for. And yeah, book and confirm the appointment. It's really good sometimes to triple book or triple confirm. So if someone is like, yeah, man, you've gone through and gone, if I was to send you a link, we've got an awesome presentation at 8 o'clock tonight. It's only going to be half an hour. I know you said you're going to be free tonight. Would you jump on and let me know your honest thoughts? Yeah, man, of course. Okay. So if I send that link through, you'll definitely be able to jump on at 8 o'clock and they'll say, yeah, I'll be there. Awesome, man. I'll see you online at 8 o'clock. And so you've said 3 times, and they're now going to be way more likely to be accountable to that presentation that you have set. And then, yay, you've done your job. Well, if you've got somebody to come along and have a look at a presentation, you've probably said the right things. Sometimes people say no, and that's absolutely fine, or they're just like, I'm kind of busy at the moment, blah, 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 blah. And what can happen there is just go and ask more questions. Ask questions about certain things that that they're interested in and work off there. And it can be really easy to nail presentation after that. It says here, if they ask you any questions, and this is quite common, you know, what is this? You know, just, yeah, I'll come, but yeah, just tell me what it's about. Reassure them that their questions are likely to be answered during the presentation. This is the invite stage, remember, not the presentation. If they are asking questions, if they're a positive question, it's going to mean that they're going to be pretty interested. If it's a negative question, like, you know, is this network marketing or something? It probably means that they've either had an experience personally or heard of an experience. And you can follow up with something like, yes, it is, but it's very, very different to what you may or may not have, you know, heard about. Or, you know, do you mind me asking, I just heard that tone in your voice. Have you had an experience with network marketing before? And you can work through those. It says here, like I said earlier, book that presentation within 24 to 48 hours when possible. So always book a solid time for the presentation and book the follow-up call at the invite as well. It is a very, very, very important thing to do. So let's say it was the recording tonight and you've gone through, they've said that they're going to come on at 8 and you've double confirmed, triple confirmed that they're going to be on at 8. And then just say, awesome, man, I'm so excited to see you online at 8 o'clock tonight. Afterwards, about 8:45, I'll give you a quick call with my mentor just to see if you have any questions, and then we can work through that. Would that be okay with you? And most of the time they'll say yes. If they don't, then you can kind of explain the reason why you're getting online with the mentor to really do the best you can for them, to answer their questions, because you may be new at this and not know everything yet. And that's why you're going to jump on with a mentor who can answer those questions properly. It says here, close the loop. So ask either or rather than open questions. So if you are trying to book a time and you know that they're relatively free, you could say, what are you up to tomorrow afternoon? And they can say, oh, you know, I finish work at 3. You could say, awesome, man, after 3 o'clock, would you be able to catch up at either 4 or 5? And they could say, oh, yeah, 5's good. And you can go and book the invite at 5 o'clock like that. Those closed loop questions. So never leave a loop open. You always want to be going on to a solid confirmation. And it says here that the best and most effective invites take less than 5 minutes. If it's taking longer than that and there's lots of questions involved, you're probably saying too much. Remember, the invite is simply the invite, and we're not trying to give away information because that's going to be done in the presentation by a professional. So if it's less than 5 minutes, you're doing a really, really, really good job. And remember, you can't say the right thing to the wrong person or the wrong thing to the right one. I've witnessed this time and time again. You know, there's been times where I've just been completely done the most average invite in the world, and the person's been really interested, come along to a presentation and signed up. And there's been invites where I've said the perfect things at the perfect time, asked the perfect questions, related USANA perfectly to what they're looking for, and it hasn't equated to anything. So remember, it's the person who makes their mind up about what they see, not you. Thank you guys so much. Nice short training tonight. I'll play another quick video at the end, which I think is really, really effective. And then get onto the phone, make a few invites, especially if you're scared. Jump on, get a couple of people online tonight. We're going to have an epic presentation by Paul Edwards and Mike Harris. And Mike has one of the best business sides of the presentation I've seen. So if you're thinking, oh, you know, they're interested in business, give them a call, get them online, and we'll see you guys there at 8 o'clock tonight. The links are all on the Team Ignite page. See you later.
How do you invite people to learn more about USANA?
Well, this is so important because when we're inviting people to take a look at this opportunity, we always want them to focus on what their need is, okay? So how can USANA be a solution for what they're looking for at the moment, okay? So whenever you're inviting, focus on them. It's not about you and getting more presentations and closing more partners. It's about you being of service to others, and that's how your business is gonna grow.
I ask them what is their problem in life, what is their needs. I ask them questions, And then when they have all these problems, I ask them whether have you heard about USANA? You ask the right question, you'll get the right answer. And of course, we offer them the solution of changing their lives. Thank you.
My entire business is actually online. So I have my website and blog, and I invite people to learn how I live my lifestyle. I don't believe in a business side and a health side. I just see USANA purely as a lifestyle. So I invite people to learn more about the products and how by taking the products you can actually increase your income as well.
I try to get them to invite themselves. I try to get them to ask me how they can learn more, and I find that's the best way.
I tend to build relationships first and get to know them as much as I can, all about them, their family, what they do for work. And if they're close to me, I just listen for opportunities to share with them. And then I ask them to come and to sit and hear experience about my company and how we help people, because it might be a great fit for them and what they're going through.
One is this: I form the prospect. I talk about their family, occupation, recreation, and then I bring my message. FORM is an acronym. I do that with all my prospects, with all my invites. So I form them, F-O-R-M. Then I say this: hey, listen, I've recently started a business helping people with health. Honestly, your name came to my mind as someone that would be great at it. Was wanting to know if you'd be interested in taking a look. Great. Would Thursday at 10 work? That's one of them. Number two, I'll form the prospect, talk about their family, occupation, recreation, their message. And then I'll compliment them. I'll say, I know you're really good at real estate, but do you keep yourself open to other streams of income? Of course they do. I say, great, I've got a great opportunity for you to look at. And then my third and final one, which is really easy, is I form them. I talk about their family, their occupation, their recreation. Then I bring my message about USANA, and I say this. I say, you know, if I would you, it's the if I would you script. If I would send you a 10-minute video about USANA, would you watch it? If I were to give you this book, would you read it? Love this question because it's reciprocal. You're doing something and they'll do something, not watch this video. So it'll work like this. If I gave you a 10-minute video to watch, an online link, would you watch it? Great, you would. What time could you watch it? Oh, I could watch it Wednesday night, they say. So if I call you Thursday night, Thursday during the morning, you definitely have watched it. Yeah, I'd have watched it. Great. What time should I call you on Thursday morning? And go from there.
People choose to show up to your appointment rather than their own activities. So you have to provide value in order to attract people to say yes, and they will be committed to come. Let me give you some examples. Like if you say, I will give you some samples to try it out if you come to my presentation because I want to teach you how to start the samples. People will come. It's attraction, right? It's incentive. Or you can say we have an expert. We have a nutrition expert telling you how your body, how your health will work with you. So those are value, like people will be attracted to come. So that's how I invite people to come. The benefit of inviting.
Whenever you find a need in someone and you know that USANA can help them, you will throw the invitation just trying to satisfy their need. It's not a matter of you. It's not something that it's needed for you. It's just you're doing it because USANA is going to be good for them.